Hey, what's up, guys? This is going to be a review for episode 319 of Naruto Shippuden. And I'm going to start off by saying that this episode was one of those episodes that it really depends on your taste at the end of the day, probably, on what kind of things you like in an episode. Now, the first half was specifically about Granny Chio talking about Sasori and having memories and everything. And they did put in a little bit more than what people have already seen. And they did explain things more, but at the same time, it just I don't know. Even though it was like a flashback or we're almost like getting like a rerun as far as memories and going back. She was really she really regrets everything she did and all that kind of stuff. And it really, in a way, just gave up a really depressing kind of feeling. Now I'm sure a lot of people do hate that, but it can sometimes be a good thing in some way. But it really a little bit surprised is that it actually gave off that effect instead of just like really just right off the bat probably taking off someone, but like, oh, this is a freaking rerun, and then turn it off or end it or something like that. It still did in a way a good job of giving off emotion and making you feel something, and it was just again one of those really emotional episodes, and they really talked about it a lot. And man, I can't believe I forgot his name, but the puppet user that is Gar's friend. Anyways, he confronted Granny Chio, and they end up talking and stuff. And she was really surprised by the simple fact that Sasori gave the puppets to him, and he was able to. Well, they were damaged, I believe, or something like that, and he healed them and everything. But he entrusted him with them, and that really surprised her. Now, a little bit before they started talking about this stuff, Granny Chio was having a little bit of flashbacks, and she did say that eat throughout all the bad things she did in her life, she actually ended up doing something good in the end. And it's kind of weird because she worded something in a way like she said something like you know I thought I was dead, but I thought I was gonna die that way, in a way saying that almost like she sounded like, or she thought that she lived, but at the same time she knows she's under the reanimation jutsu. But I don't know, she just said it in a way almost like she thought she was gonna die but she's alive now, as if in some sort of way that almost contradicts the reanimation jutsu. So I was thinking maybe she thinks she's back to life or something like that, because Kabuto wasn't like completely restricting her or anything like that, so she didn't feel completely limited. Now she was attacking and stuff like that, but she wasn't like really just cut off, both emotions and physical, and that kind of stuff. But I don't know, that just still just kind of threw me off, especially after like I said later, she talked about how she was under the reanimation suit. So I was kind of lost. Like, okay, you made it sound like you were back to life like a normal person or something like that, or you didn't die. But anyways, back to the main point. So they did a lot of talking, and there was a certain point where there was getting some action. There was some stuff really going on, and it was really cool to just see how much. No, that's not his name. But anyways, the guy from the Gar's friend, the puppet user. God, I can't believe I forgot his name. But anyways, how much better he's actually gotten, and how he actually helped the samurai and them, just cut off the strings when she was actually controlling them to make them fight each other. And they end up almost like having to kill one of their own, just because he was being manipulated. And I'm pretty sure he was alive. He was just knocked out. And then it started, kind of slowing down again at a certain point. There wasn't like a big long line of action or something like that. It's just for a little while, and then they went back to talking, and that's when they talked about Sasori entrusted him with the puppets and everything. And she was just very happy to see that, considering he's always been one of those guys that's very lonely. It's a little bit her fault just not loving him enough and giving him enough attention. And in a way, since she kind of lied to him about his parents' deaths and everything, she kind of gave him a reason to hate her, kind of, because it's not exactly a good way to get on someone's good side. And especially when you're that young, you don't forget about that kind of stuff. But when she found out he realized, or actually found out, that his parents were dead, and he probably either found out or he just realized it. He was like, okay, they're just dead, or because obviously they wouldn't be gone this long on a mission or something like that. Towards the very end, I was a little bit surprised at this. After, they had that little talk, he entrusted him with the puppets, and how happy she was that, he finally trusted someone again. And in a way, it kind of shows off how they both had a similar ending where, they both made mistakes. They were both reckless and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they both, at least had something good at the end. But it was a little bit funny when she just dropped dead, and that just was like one of those weird moments like, hold on, she's not disappearing. So it wasn't like one of those moments where, you know, when they get filled up with so much emotion that it just completely undoes the reanimation jutsu. She's just sitting there, and then he started going towards her, and then it was like, and then she was pretending, and I laughed so hard, I was like, oh my gosh, wow. And it was a little bit funny, but I was just like, it was one of those moments like, okay, I don't know whether to be serious or not right now. And that's a little bit funny sometimes when you get in one of those situations where you don't know whether to be serious or to be expecting something funny, but definitely did not expect that. That was just totally random. And it was really weird because the way she fell down, I would have thought normally, like, if she wasn't under reanimation jutsu and everything like that, or if there was another puppet user, that she was being, you know, controlled by another puppet user, and he just cut off the strings or something, because usually their body falls in that similar way. So that, you know, that's just one of those things that just randomly popped in the back of my head when I was watching it. Give all a good sense of humor at the end of the episode, and, you know, I just felt, you know, in mind, you know, I was in a good mood, and it wasn't like one of those episodes where I was just like, ugh, or sighed, and just really hated it or something, or was very disappointed or something like that. So it's a pretty good episode overall. I mean, I give it a 4 out of 5. I would give it higher, but, you know, it really depends on your taste again, you know, about action. There wasn't very much action, but it wasn't too boring. You know, there was some good things about it, there were some unexpected small things, and there's some things worth thinking about, and it was, you know, it showed us more, and there were some great things that they just gave us at the very end of the day, and it did give a great feeling at the end of the episode, which is a good thing to really see in episodes. So anyways, that wraps it up, and also keep in mind, guys, that later today I'm going to do some Attack on Titan reviews, so definitely make sure to watch that whenever I upload those, and I'm going to be doing them very continuously, because I got to catch up to the newest episode very, very soon. So anyways, thanks again, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.